Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining me in today's recruiter skills session. My name is Natalie Segro. I'm a manager in product training here at Jobvite. And if you were able to catch last week's recruiter skills session, that was with Amy Hughes, and she covered content strategies for recruiters. This week's theme is going to be all about artificial intelligence, which is also known as AI, and automation. So today's specific session is going to be how to use AI to mature your talent acquisition program and improve outcomes. So throughout this presentation, I'm going to cover various AI technologies that you could possibly utilize within your organization if you aren't already doing so. So without further ado, let's just get started. So now, while we discuss today's topic and all of the automation that can be applied across the entire end-to-end recruiting process, we are not alluding to the fact of removing the recruiter from any one portion of the pipeline. By integrating AI into every aspect of the recruiting and application process, we are helping our recruiters to make better decisions faster and improving the experience for both the recruiter and the candidates. So some questions that pop to mind are, what are you to look for in an AI solution? Why is it important to a recruiter? Let's look at some of these topics and dig a little deeper. So according to a research firm, Gartner, the number of companies implementing AI-related technologies in the past 4 years has grown by 270%. As I've discussed in another recruiter skills session, why wouldn't your organization want to implement, and you as a recruiter want to utilize, AI wherever it can automate processes, free up your time, and above all else, improve outcomes in your processes? Whether you're thinking about utilizing AI, you might be in the middle of slowly integrating it, or you're full steam ahead with it, we're going to cover how AI can mature recruiting for better candidate experiences and improved talent acquisition success. So some of the things that come to my mind immediately with AI are automating candidate screening, communicating with text and chatbots, assessing candidate fit with sentiment analysis, and using machine learning to speed up candidate assessment automation. AI should not be confused with replacing people, but rather being able to process high volumes of data at a pace that a human would not be able to accomplish. AI requires large amounts of data as input to produce an output to solve a problem. All of AI's features improve productivity and efficiency. So for our agenda, let's start off with talking about artificial intelligence. Because let's face it, it's here to stay and just going to become more instrumental in the talent acquisition arena. We'll then focus on each of the areas I brought up in the beginning, which fall under the umbrella of AI and will really help you advance in your recruiting. I'll go into detail about the automation of candidate screening, communicating with text and chatbots, assessing candidate fit with sentiment analysis. We'll discuss machine learning and using it to speed up candidate assessment automation. I'll then conclude this session by providing you with a summary and some key takeaways to bring back to your organization. And last but not least, I'll review this week's Summer to Evolve roster of events. So when I speak of artificial intelligence, immediately I think automation, which is correct, but make no mistake that there is a ton of algorithm input and output to solve problems, all having AI act a certain way while providing a positive candidate experience. AI is not meant to replace recruiters, but rather free up their time, sift through thousands of resumes that come in from various sources, and give the top selection, the group of highly qualified candidates you want to get to know. It lets you, the recruiter, provide that human touch that a computer software system or algorithm can't do, and that is the human connection. As artificial intelligence reduces bias in the hiring process, teams and organizations become more diverse in gender and race. Not only is this ethical, But multiple studies have shown that teams and organizations that are diverse in race and gender outperform those that aren't. Decreasing bias in your AI software is one way companies can hire more diversely and organizations can be more representative of their customers. Have you taken a look at your hiring process? Have you reviewed the steps that the candidate takes and then the steps the recruiter has to take and all of that time in between? Just because we haven't gotten to Jane Smith's resume doesn't mean the clock has stopped ticking. Precious time is still going by. If your hiring process doesn't move quickly, not only are you missing out on great talent and possibly losing them to your competitors, but that open role equates to lost profitability. Look at your hiring process. Use AI wherever you can automate the process. Have your candidates perform actions and see those answers immediately. AI will knock out unqualified candidates that don't meet your minimum criteria out of the running. Pre-screen surveys are a great form of AI. Once a candidate has submitted an application, an automated pre-screen survey will be sent to them to gauge their fit for the role. Some candidates don't even bother to complete the pre-screen survey, automatically knocking them out as they're not really showing they're engaged with working for the organization or being in the running for the role. Once the survey has been completed, it's immediately scored, so only the strongest applicants get moved to the next stage of the hiring process. Background checks are crucial. They may have aced the pre-screen survey and the interview, but you always want to make sure all candidates go through a background check to make sure you're hiring responsible, trustworthy employees. With the right hiring process in place, background checks can be automated. Reference checks can also be automated instead of trying to hunt down people playing phone tag. This too leads the hiring process to drag on for far too long. With an automated process, the candidate can provide the reference contact information, and surveys are sent out to each contact, saving time that would have otherwise been wasted between scheduling calls and completing them. Texting has become one of the primary communication channels that provide immediate communication, both in inquiry and response. Studies have shown that text has a quicker engage and response rate. Make it as easy as possible for you and the candidate. Set up your text automation to provide information based on responses. Automate interview reminders to candidates. Provide location and directions to an interview. Need to request dates and times of availability to lock in a meeting or an interview? Have AI do it. Mass text campaigns are also an excellent tool when creating excitement for an event or possibly sending out a registration link for a college campus career event. Maybe we need to attract more candidates. A drip campaign is another great AI tool you can utilize. Effective drip campaigns will help you achieve consistent growth and help you automate time-consuming, demanding, or manual tasks that otherwise incur mistakes. To implement a drip campaign, you need the power of marketing automation. Marketing automation allows you to set up the email campaigns and schedule them. This also helps you segment your audience appropriately into more targeted groups based on their actions. Let's move on over to chatbots. Chatbots are another excellent layer of AI that can capture information that can alleviate some of the recruiting activities, but still allows the recruiter to gather information and connect with the candidate later on. Chatbots can be set up to interact and engage with candidates over the web and on various social media platforms and channels. They're an excellent communication channel that can enhance every part of the candidate experience. Directions, interview slots, information that might be consistently asked for. This information can all be loaded into the chatbot so that when you want those answers or need that information, You as the candidate are not waiting, and the recruiters are not performing that repetitive work. AI-powered chatbots make sure applicants get regular updates about the status of their application, give feedback, and are always available to answer questions. Recruiters' time is being freed up for more meaningful work, and candidates are getting their information right away, not waiting for a recruiter to get back to them. Sentiment analysis is the ability of a computer program to determine the subjective opinion, emotional state, or intended emotional effect of a spoken or written word. The basic form of sentiment analysis is positive, negative, or neutral. The more advanced classifies text into emotions such as happy or angry. If you're a woman, have you ever read a job description and even though you were qualified, maybe you thought you weren't and didn't apply for it? Did the job description sound a little masculine or maybe have a male undertone and you unconsciously passed up the opportunity to apply? Don't worry, this feeling you had might have been true. The job description you were reading might have had biased language. In recruiting, sentiment analysis is being used to identify potentially biased language in job description. The program that is fed inputs words like aggressive, which are perceived as masculine sounding, while the word collaborative are perceived as female sounding. By analyzing the words that are in the job description, the program can output in the form of suggested replacement words in order to help solve the problem that these words might be discouraging to females and they might not apply. Machine learning is a type of computer program or algorithm with the ability to teach itself by analyzing data, inputs, and coming up with solutions, outputs. This algorithm continues to learn from new data you input to increase the accuracy of the solution it comes up with. The simplest algorithm is a keyword pull or a Boolean search. Machine learning is very successful in automating repetitive actions. So job advertisements are a great example. Machine learning can analyze language patterns and see why some postings do better than others. More complex algorithms are being used to automate resume screening to shortlist and grade candidates based on existing employees' resumes. Candidate assessment and pre-selection. This is where you're going to say, does the candidate have good soft skills for the role? Are they good culture fit? What about the candidate's aptitude? This is everything machine learning can measure and essentially refine a talent pool of quality hires for your talent acquisition team to review. You are assessing the candidate's personality and job fit. Let's talk about automating your CRM. This is where you engage, manage, and nurture your candidates on one platform. There are so many aspects of the candidate journey and the hiring process. Jobs and people have become more complex, have become data-driven, and want answers now. Let AI help your team be as dynamic and diverse as possible, all while never missing a beat. In summary, there are 3 items I want you to take away within this presentation. Automate wherever possible to free up the recruiter's time so they can provide that human connection to the top talent pool. AI is not replacing people, it's helping them. Let AI assist you in reducing bias so you can diversify your teams and organization as a whole. And just because AI automates multiple steps of the hiring process doesn't mean it can't provide a positive candidate experience. Real-time, instant answers to the candidate feedback, updates about an application, help reduce that time to hire, putting the person in that role quicker, helping you put money back into your pocket that isn't slowly trickling away due to a drawn-out, antiquated hiring process. AI is not a one-size-fits-all. It's completely customizable to your organization's needs. So before you start implementing AI anywhere and everywhere, take a thoughtful approach in understanding how, where, and why you want to insert AI into your current processes. Once you're fired up and AI is working for you, you will see improved outcomes and see success within your talent acquisition organization. You can find the information at Summer to Involve for a full summer of free content. This week's upcoming content is going to be the Too Talented is AI and Recruiting with Jeff, Paul, and Ben. Jobvite Demo Day is going to be Recruit Smarter, Not Harder with Artificial Intelligence, and that's going to be with Steve McLennan. The Recruiter Real Talk is going to be with Steven, Zach, and Mai on improving talent acquisition program outcomes with key hiring metrics. And we are ready to round third base as next week is week 12, our final week in the Summer to Evolve program. Next week's theme is going to be analytics. Also, don't forget to get social with us and use the hashtag JobviteS2E. I want to thank you all for joining me in today's Recruiter Skills session. It's been my pleasure discussing these topics with you over the last 12 weeks that I've been able to present to you. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take care.